Imagine a world where celebrity status isn't parked in a garage. It's hovering at 3,000 feet with rotors slicing through thin mountain air, where million-dollar helicopters carry more history than most museums and vintage military machines cost more than oceanfront mansions. These aren't just helicopters. They're flying monuments to ambition, obsession, and serious horsepower. Stay until the end, because the #1 spot features a helicopter collection so rare most aviation historians have never seen anything like it. So let's start with number 10 on our list. James Cameron doesn't just direct billion-dollar movies. He flies machines that look like they belong in one. His Bell 206 Jet Ranger, valued somewhere between $500,000 and $800,000 depending on condition, is powered by an Allison 250 turboshaft engine, producing around 420 horsepower. That single power plant pushes the Jet Ranger to cruise speeds of roughly 130 miles per hour, with a range stretching past 350 miles. The Jet Ranger became famous through 7 different James Bond films and countless Hollywood productions. It's the kind of helicopter that says, "I make movies for a living, but I also know how machines work." And if you've seen the Terminator 2 helicopter chase, you understand Cameron's obsession with rotorcraft runs deeper than most. But while Cameron chose practicality, the next celebrity on our list chose something far more eccentric. Burt Reynolds didn't just own a helicopter. He used it for one of the most legendary acts of revenge in Hollywood history. His personal chopper, reportedly a Bell model he kept at his Florida ranch alongside roughly 100 horses, became the delivery vehicle for something unexpected. One Christmas Eve, Reynolds and his ranch foreman loaded the helicopter with 2 massive nets filled with horse manure, flew over the National Enquirer headquarters in Lantana, Florida, and watched it cascade down their massive Christmas tree. Reynolds later called it a beautiful sight. The tabloid had been publishing stories about him for years, and the actor decided aerial warfare was the appropriate response. Sometimes a helicopter isn't just transportation. It's a weapon of petty revenge. But if you thought that was dramatic, wait until you see what the next celebrity does with his rotorcraft. Harrison Ford takes helicopter ownership more seriously than almost anyone in Hollywood. His Bell 407GX, purchased for approximately $3 million, is powered by a Rolls-Royce 250 C47B turboshaft, producing around 813 horsepower. Cruise speed sits comfortably around 140 knots, with a range approaching 340 nautical miles. But here's what separates Ford from every other celebrity pilot. He actually uses his helicopter for search and rescue missions near his Wyoming ranch. In 2000, Ford flew his Bell 407 to rescue a hiker named Sarah George, who had collapsed from altitude sickness on Table Mountain. She didn't even recognize him at first. A year later, he spotted a lost Boy Scout named Cody Clausen from the air and personally flew him to safety. When Cody realized who had rescued him, he thought, "Han Solo just saved my life." Ford once said, "I'm gonna fly anyway, so I might as well fly search and rescue and help people." That's not just helicopter ownership. That's helicopter purpose. Clint Eastwood doesn't need loud entrances to command attention, and his Eurocopter AS-350 A-Star proves it. Valued somewhere around $2 million, this single-engine light helicopter is powered by a Turbomeca Ariel engine, producing approximately 847 horsepower. Cruise speed hovers around 140 knots, with a range stretching past 350 nautical miles. Eastwood has been a licensed helicopter pilot for over 30 years and obtained his fixed-wing license back in 1958. He used to fly himself to film sets just to avoid Los Angeles traffic. The AS-350 is the same model that landed on Mount Everest, though Eastwood presumably keeps his flights somewhat lower altitude. In 2023, he donated his longtime helicopter to the Burbank Police Department's Aviation unit, where it now serves the community instead of delivering a Hollywood legend to work. But while Eastwood chose elegant simplicity, the next celebrity on our list chose something that belongs more on a battlefield. Now you know some celebrities don't just own helicopters. They own machines with military heritage worth millions. And the #1 spot features a collection so extensive, it makes everyone else look like weekend hobbyists. Stay with me, because the rotorcraft only get more impressive from here. Kurt Russell earned his pilot's license and actually achieved IFR certification, meaning he can fly using just instruments when visibility drops to nothing. His aviation credentials are legitimate. He's flown various aircraft over the decades and once reported the famous Phoenix Lights UFO sighting while piloting his own plane. Russell represents the rare celebrity who treats aviation as genuine craft rather than a status symbol. His commitment to instrument certification puts him in rarefied company among Hollywood pilots. Most celebrities stop at basic licenses. Russell kept pushing until he could fly through clouds. That kind of dedication suggests someone who genuinely loves being in the cockpit rather than just owning the machine. Angelina Jolie approached helicopter ownership from an unexpected angle. She purchased a helicopter valued at over $1.6 million, specifically so Brad Pitt could learn to fly. The couple had a helicopter pad installed at their home in France, treating rotorcraft like most people treat second cars. Jolie herself earned her pilot's license in 2004, inspired partly by her son Maddox's fascination with aircraft. She flies a Cirrus SR-22, but her helicopter purchase for Pitt demonstrated how seriously the family took aviation. When celebrities buy helicopters as gifts for learning purposes, you know you're dealing with a different level of commitment to the skies. But while Jolie focused on family aviation, the next celebrity turned his helicopter into a working machine. At number 4, we have a different kind of celebrity rotorcraft story. The Bell 47, that iconic bubble canopy helicopter made famous by MASH, became a symbol of an entire era of rotorcraft history. One of the original helicopters used in the television series recently sold through Platinum Fighter sales after being restored to its original MASH configuration. These vintage Bell 47s, depending on condition and provenance, can sell for anywhere between $220,000 and $400,000. The Bell 47 was the first helicopter certified for civilian use back in 1946, and its distinctive fishbowl canopy became instantly recognizable worldwide. Owning one today isn't just helicopter collecting, it's preserving aviation history. The Bell AH-1 Iroquois, forever known as the Huey, represents perhaps the most iconic military helicopter ever built. Bell manufactured over 10,000 Hueys from 1957 to 1975, and today only around 723 military variant Hueys remain registered in the United States. Private collectors have acquired these machines, which, depending on condition and airworthiness, can sell for $200,000 to over $500,000. The Huey's distinctive thwop 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 rotor sound became the soundtrack of an entire war, and owning one today connects you directly to aviation history. The Lycoming T-53 turboshaft engine produces around 1,400 horsepower in later variants, pushing the Huey to cruise speeds around 127 miles per hour. For collectors who want to touch history rather than just read about it, the Huey represents the ultimate acquisition. Now we reach number 2. The Bell AH-1 Cobra, the world's first dedicated attack helicopter, can actually be owned by civilians under specific circumstances. Demilitarized Cobras have appeared on the private market, with prices ranging dramatically based on condition and airworthiness. The Cobra was derived directly from the Huey, sharing the same engine, transmission, and rotor system, but paired with a narrow attack-focused fuselage. The original AH-1 packed roughly 1,400 horsepower from its Lycoming T-53 turboshaft, pushing it to speeds around 190 miles per hour. The tandem cockpit, chin-mounted gun turret, and stub wings for weapons created the template every attack helicopter has followed since. Owning one means possessing a piece of military aviation innovation that literally changed how wars are fought. And now we arrive at number 1. We move from single aircraft to entire collections that represent the pinnacle of vintage military rotorcraft ownership. Private collectors and aviation foundations have assembled fleets of restored helicopters that would make military museums envious. These collections often include multiple Hueys, restored Cobras, rare Sikorsky models, and European vintage rotorcraft, like the French Alouette series. A single pristinely restored military helicopter can command prices well into the millions, but assembling a complete collection representing different eras and manufacturers transforms helicopter ownership into historical preservation on a massive scale. The Classic Rotors Museum in San Diego maintains helicopters ranging from the Piasecki HRP-1 to Soviet Kamov coaxials, demonstrating the breadth possible in serious rotorcraft collecting. When you're not just owning helicopters, but preserving entire chapters of aviation history, that's commitment bordering on obsession. And these machines don't just sit in hangars. Many still fly, their restored engines thundering to life at air shows where new generations can hear what history sounded like. So if you made it all the way to number 1, you clearly appreciate machines with heritage and horsepower. Tell me in the comments, would you choose a practical modern turbine, a Vietnam-era Huey, or a rare military attack helicopter? And if rotorcraft like this fascinate you, hit subscribe, because next we're diving into the most extreme private aviation collections on the planet.